Hello everyone, this is Dr. Mohammed Saim Khan and I'm here again, and we are in the week 5 of this business tourism course. And in the last video we had discussed about little more about event management. Now we'll be discussing a little more about relationship between event and tourism industry. Then we'll discuss a lot about event managers, their qualities, etc. So in this particular video, this is the topic. It's in front on your computer screen. Relationship between event and tourism industry. And in this particular video, with a little bit introduction, then we'll move towards the objectives of conducting events from tourism perspectives. Then we'll discuss the role of event in tourism. Then the corporate events, the non-corporate events, including the individual events, the portfolio approach, and conclusion. Then we conclude. So let us start with the introduction. Relationship between event, and tourism industry. If we talk about it, the two of the most highly contributing sectors of the country's economy, both event management and tourism in India, have come a long way over the last decade. While both function within drastically evolving and ever changing environments, subject to market fluctuations and customer behavior patterns and spending power, there are major differences that are distinct to each sector individually. However, a close connection between the two can also be found in terms of not only promoting the other's business, but also in assisting them with direct referrals and within other business avenues. A lot of the time, corporate events and weddings on a big budget tend to prefer hosting their events in resorts and other tourist destinations. This is where the role of both event management and tourism, or rather the hospitality industry, comes into play. Being able to work in harmony with each other while at the same time making sure to meet their individual objectives is the key. The pandemic has shown us the deep rooted integration that exists between both the industries and how its effects have impacted both sectors to a great extent. Both being a part of the service and hospitality space, event management and tourism need to exist in tandem in order to not only succeed in the long run, but to also promote a healthy, progressive, and futuristic professional relationship in order to work towards providing an enhanced customer experience. So, objectives of conducting events, and we are talking from the perspective of tourism. Well, number one, to attract more tourists, especially in the off peak season when there are off seasons. So customers are not, or I should say, tourists are not going to several places. So let us take an example of a hill station. So when there is a little, winter starts to come up and there's cold, people from the northern area especially who already themselves are living in cold, they don't prefer to go to such regions. Similarly, if we talk about places with beaches and other natural offerings, so people tend to go there specifically in the time of summer vacations of the children, when families can enjoy. And these families, they kind of are a big chunk of the whole tourist population. So we call it off season when these families and these chunks, they are not going to places. So in off season, it becomes quite dull and people don't have jobs, people don't have enough money. They say that we earn in 2 3 months and the rest of 8 9 months we just spend out of the money earned, because there is very little tourism in such places. So, with the help of events, what is happening that you will be able to attract more tourists in the off season, in the off peak season. And how is it so? Because uh, especially events and the business tourism. If you talk of the business events, they prefer it to have to conduct their events in different places during off season because it's less crowded. People, their staff, they can enjoy. You can, if you are taking your staff to a hill station, they can enjoy all the amenities that hill station have to offer. They can go to places which otherwise are very crowded during the peak season, and you can enjoy the food. You can sit in restaurants. Everybody is calling you to come inside because they are free, right? So more tourists are attracted with this event and all, and so what happened that they get business. Next, to serve as a catalyst for urban renewal and for increasing the infrastructure and tourism capacity of the destination. So when a destination is kind of you know developed as an event destination, a lot of urban renewal is being done in those places. So the place is famous for destination weddings. People from across, like if you take example of India, across all India, they are coming to that particular place for destination wedding. And these people are wealthier, rich people, right? Like in India, Rajasthan is very popular destinations for these kind of weddings and events and functions. So if you go to Rajasthan and like in every area, you will find that this urban renewal has been done so beautifully, and the infrastructure is nice. So when you are having professional events and things like event these destination weddings and all, so the capacity of destination also increases, and the infrastructure it enhances. The another objective is to foster a positive destination image. I want to portray a positive image of the destination. So if event tourism is happening, if events are being conducted in such place, and people are happy, they are giving good reviews, rave reviews. So what is happening? A positive destination image is being built. Nowadays, with the advent of social media, what is happening that when people are going on for events and all, they are putting their videos of the beautiful places, of the unexplored areas, and they are sharing their experiences that how easily they were able to navigate through the whole period, and there was like no crime, and people are so hospitable, things like these. So it creates a positive image of the destination, and people who are not into event tourism, they they plan to come to such places. Okay, so and with that we can add that to contribute to general place marketing. Obviously, it happens that we kind of are marketing for that place where we had went to for say a destination wedding, or say to attend a conference, or to say to attend a meeting, or for an exhibition, anything like that. And another objective from tourism perspective is to animate specific attractions or areas. If there is a specific attraction or a specific area which is there, which can be a destination for tourists, that area can be animated. And rural development, obviously, if the area is rural and people from business class, they are coming there, so the government took notice, right, and they developed all the required infrastructure in those rural areas. These are the objectives of conducting events from the perspective of tourism. Next, we'll discuss the role of events in tourism. What is the role of events in tourism? Events trigger a boost of tourism. This is the major reason why the role of event in tourism is so important. The events play in the creation and strengthening of the destination image. The events play in the creation and strengthening of the destination image should be taken into consideration. And if they stimulate regional economic growth, we just discussed, and they help in long-term imagery enhancement. Again, very important. If once you kind of have positive and rave reviews about a place, it goes for a very long term. And increase community pride of the region. These hallmark or mega events have a role in place promotion. Events such as these are seen by millions. Thus, industry has mirrored the explosive growth of media, entertainment, and tourists. So now to accustom you with the concepts of hallmark and mega events, let us dive into these concepts. So mega event is an event that has impacts on the overall economic activity of the host country or the host area or the city and is globally covered by media. In economic terms, mega event is strongly reflected in the tourism and economic infrastructure of the host country. These events are generally associated to sports event. They include the Olympic Games, the Paralympic Games, FIFA World Cup, the IAAF World Championships, and World Fairs. But it is difficult for many other events to fit into this kind of category. So these are your mega events. Okay, and when mega event is taking place like the Olympic in a country, so it becomes a hub of media attention and advertisement and everything. Next, in this category is Hallmark events. Hallmark event is an event with the distinctive quality of the program. Hallmark events are so identified with the spirit and soul of a host community that they become synonymous with the name of the place and gain widespread recognition and awareness. Hallmark events are of special importance and attractiveness both for participants and visitors. They attract great attention of the public, contribute to the image of destination, and maintain and revitalize the tradition. Classic examples of hallmark events are Carnival in Rio, the Tour de France, the Oktoberfest in Munich, and Wimbledon. These events are identified with the very essence of these places and their citizens and bring huge tourist revenue as well as a strong sense of local pride and international recognition. As if you remember, we kind of have discussed uh, events like Pushkar Mela and the Onam festival, and then there is a snake boat or Nehru boat race in Kerala, which we hadn't discussed, but this Nehru boat race is a boat race in Kerala. And why it is called Nehru boat race, there is a different story. So PM Nehru went there and he really liked it, and he kind of donated something. So after that, those races were renamed and now they are being called Nehru boat race, and there's a Nehru Cup which they won. So this is a local example of such a hallmark event, which are associated with a place. Okay, hallmark event. This is the hallmark event of Kerala, we can say. Okay. Next categorization is major events. Major events attract large number of visitors and help the organizers achieve good economic results. In practice of management of events, these events are often sports oriented with an international reputation and define structure of competition. Now, example, Formula One, Grand Prix. These are the examples of major events. Now coming to local events. Local event is an event that is targeted mainly for local audiences and staged primarily for their social, fun, and entertainment value. These events often produce a range of benefits, including gendering pride in the community, strengthening a feeling of belonging, and creating a sense of place. They can also help with exposing people to new ideas and experiences, encouraging participation in sports and arts activities, and encouraging tolerance and diversity. These are your local events. So it kind of pop up in the middle, so it's better to clear the concept of what is a hallmark event, a mega event, a major, and local. So we discussed mega, which are truly large in size, like the Olympics. Then hallmark events, which are distinctive and are related to a place. Then we had major events like Grand Prix, Formula One kind of. Then local events, which are related to the community, and they strengthen a feeling of belongingness and create a sense of place among the member of the community. So these are uh, the categorization. After categorizing it, well, there's another categorization, or I should say, this is the topic in the syllabus we are going to cover. It's about corporate and individual or non-corporate events. So a way to classify events is to divide them in corporate and non-corporate events. What are the corporate events? We'll go one by one. Like conferences. The corporate conference is a primary type of event. It's usually a large gathering within a venue focused on a central theme, product, or service. The event can include speakers, exhibitions, displays, performances, roundtables, networking opportunities, catering, and recreational opportunities. Conferences are usually large scale events held in convention centers or conference halls. More recently, conferences have been held virtually too, as we had discussed in our previous videos. In this virtual and hybrid event, so similarly, conferences are being held virtually too. Next, trade shows. So trade shows are event types that cover an industry or theme rather than a single company. They can be small or huge and have a few guests or hundreds of thousands. They will feature exhibitions, displays, showcases, speakers, and perhaps entertainment. Trade shows will also be held in convention centers or conference halls. They don't work quite so well virtually because in trade shows it is expected that sellers and buyers will meet and they'll interact, and that cannot be done virtually. So a lot of examples of trade shows in India, the Auto Expo we have in Noida, and other kind of international trade fairs we have. So these are the example of trade shows. Then seminars. The planning and execution of seminars is a lot like conference, obviously, only this time it's more about learning, training, and imparting information. They can have high attendance but are often broken up into smaller groups for more effective training. So the next one is seminars. The planning and execution of seminars is a lot like the conference. Only this time it's more about learning, training, and imparting information. They can have high attendance but are often broken up into smaller groups for more effective training. There can be a mixture of smaller groups for sessions and then everyone meeting up to socialize, network, and share ideas. Seminars can be held anywhere depending on the size and scope. You would ideally need somewhere with smaller areas or rooms for learning and larger spaces for socializing. Next one is company meetings and offsites. Company meetings and offsites will usually be smaller scale but more upscale. They can be anything from board meetings or executive meetings to stakeholder meetings, offsite training, company relaunches, rebranding, or something else entirely. So it may be a launch of a product, or it may be a company meeting, a zonal meeting, an area meeting, a meeting of or the everyone from the north zone, right? It can be like that. The venue would depend on the size of the company, but can be anything from an upmarket restaurant or banquet hall up to an entire conference center, depending on the size of the meetings. As I just said, that for example, it's a North Zone meeting. So people from everybody from the North Zone are coming to attend this meeting. Or for example, if it's meeting from across all of the India, so the executives, whatever kind of executives are invited for the meeting, we all are coming, for example, say to Mumbai, from south, from north, from east, from west, everybody is coming. So a whole conference center has been occupied and hired for that. Next is team building. So team building events were exceptionally popular a few years ago, but you will still likely have to plan for one of these events at some point. The scope of the event will depend on the client, but could be small scale with a few dozen people to something much larger with several hundreds. Team building events can be a real mix, from outdoor activities to indoor competitions, seminars, and presentations to genuine physical and mental challenges. Venues are as equally diverse, from outward bound centers or forests to concert halls or stately homes. So, team building exercises, as we all know, they always have proved beneficial when you have a staff working with you, a newer staff working with you, and you want them to work as a team. So there are team building exercises, and when you take out people specifically for such kind of things, you have ample time for exercises, for games. The people are bonding together, they are working together. So with the help of these bonding, they kind of become a greater glue team. Next, company party. Company parties are one of the most diverse event types you will work with. They can be small scale dinners all the way up to hiring an entire nightclub for a corporate client. Event planning might include an entire theme with performers, talent management, and transport, or securing a restaurant and catering for an evening. There are also a range of unique purpose built venues around the country that specialize in this type of event. And next is product or service launch, the final main type of corporate event you will plan as an event manager is the product launch. These can have a similar feel to a party or conference, but will usually be more upbeat and more promotional in feel. You can host a product launch anywhere from golf courses to industry specific venues like hotels, factories, or football stadiums. Much depends on the size and scope of the company. So, these are the corporate events. Again, we'll have a look. What we discussed conferences, trade shows, seminars, company meetings and offsites, team building, company party, and product launch or service launch. So this is it for this particular video, but we are not done yet. And part 2 of this video will start from the non-corporate events. So now, due to the length of this video, I would like to say goodbye, and we'll continue this same topic in the next video. Have a nice day.